So I mentioned Asuba. Uh, this senior monk, he said he did one anapanasati, one metta, and one Asuba meditation. And Asuba is a particular characteristic of the Thai forest tradition. It's quite emphasized. Part of our training as junior monks is to attend autopsies. So we'll actually go into the morgue and they will cut the bodies open and show us, take the organs out and cut them open and show us what's inside. And if you're going to be celibate for a long period of time, then it's quite important to understand all dimensions of the body, not just the surface of the body. The Buddha taught that hair of the head, hair of the body, nails, teeth, and skin. These are the introductory Asubha practices, contemplating these, because these are the five that we see: the skin, the hair, the nails, the teeth. And that's what you can see on the outside of the body, but there's a lot more going on inside. You've got the liver and the lungs and not to mention all the fluids that are in the body, which are not necessarily attractive. We look on the outside of the opposite sex and we find that very attractive. But if you just took the skin off, it would be like a horror film and you'd run away. And we don't really think. It really is, beauty is skin deep. And so it's part of our monastic training to think about what's inside to help with celibacy. But it is a wisdom practice. It's not, we all ultimately have to face the truth of what this body is, especially as it's failing us and as we lose our loved ones. And so I think Asuba is not just for monastics. I can see that it is a useful practice for lay people as well, but it can be dangerous if you're in a relationship, especially with someone who's not a Buddhist, not interested in meditation. It's not really, you can kind of switch desire off. It's kind of explicitly designed to switch desire off. So I know some men who've got into trouble in their marriages doing a Asubha practice and got into all sorts of trouble. So this advice, this technique, I think is particularly interesting because this senior monk I was talking to, he talked to what's called a Kruba Ajahn in Thailand, who are attained monks, very senior monks who have very good reputations. And he went and stayed with this senior monk, this very senior Kruba Ajahn. And he asked him, how should I practice Asuba? Just a straight up question like that. And this Kruba Ajahn said that in the scriptures, there are 9 what are called charnel ground contemplations. So there's stages of decomposition of a body. So a body first, it swells up, it becomes swollen, and then it splits open and fluids come out, and then the maggots get into it, the dogs eat it, and there's all these kind of grotesque and gruesome kind of stages. But eventually it ends up as a skeleton just joined together with sinews, and then as just a pile of bones, and then the bones decay into dust and blow away. And so there's these 9 stages. And this Kruba Ajahn said that you should avoid the first 4. So the really repulsive ones, the ones where the body swells up, goes black, splits open, because the reason being that it's natural to feel disgust at those things, even an autopsy when the body's cut open. When we see the organs, and particularly when they cut open and we smell the fluids, it's easy to feel disgusted by that, repulsed by that. He said, but that's not the point of Asubha meditation. Asubha meditation should be a cool, dispassionate reaction of the mind to the truth of these bodies. And so he said, start with the white skeleton joined by sinews with no blood on it. Joined together as a skeleton, so it's recognizable as a human. Start there, because it's much easier then to disentangle the mind from disgust and to to get to the dispassionate part. And so his technique is to move through the body through with sensations. So feeling that area of the body, but also visualizing the skeleton inside. And you might have to study books and look at, if you're not a graduate, then you might have to study some anatomy books. In Thailand, we're very fortunate that there's always a skeleton in the monastery somewhere that you can spend time looking at it. But I found it particularly useful in the face because I think I've done so much visualization meditations around the eye socket, the bridge, the eyebrow ridge, and the eye socket. And then in the face, if you look at a skull, it has this kind of jagged hole where the nose is. That nose that we have is a kind of just cartilage. And so that's right there in our face, looking in the mirror. We have this jagged, bony hole right in the middle of our face, but I'd never thought about that before in place. So you can, if you spend long enough feeling that area and visualizing that in place, imagining that it's actually there, you can feel that. Yeah, you can feel these bones. I mean, in your fingers, you can even, if you can feel it with your fingers, you can feel the shape of the bones. In your wrist, I found the wrist and the forearm particularly clear in my mind. I think because you're always looking at your hands and your forearms, they're in your field of view all the time. So I found that very easy to visualize. Whereas the vertebra in the back of the neck and anything on the back was quite difficult to visualize.